So Shang-Chi is doing extremely well at the box office, and other movies. We're gonna go to the numbers very quickly because, of course, the box office proposal doesn't have the numbers updated yet. So we have to use the numbers because they actually update the box office for movies here, and Shang-Chi has a budget of $150 million. Basically, that's what they said. Yeah. Yep, it is supported by Wikipedia, $150 million budget, and it is of hundred. It is gonna, and of course this is Labor Day weekend, so it is gonna make more money tomorrow, which is likely gonna be a 90 million opening. Again, this is not the first movie, and definitely not gonna be the last movie they're gonna under predict at the box office. They said it was only open to 45 to 55 million, and the Phantom Menace was so fired this was gonna flop, and this was gonna be Marvel's biggest failure yet. But it's good that I was proven wrong. But the Phantom Menace are going to be very angry at this. They're going to be pissed off that it didn't open under $100 million, and the fact that this movie has a $150 million budget, which needs to make $300 million. Typically, at its weekend, it needs to make $150 to $300 million. And this movie practically has a whole month to itself without any real competition, besides Warner Bros. Maleficent. So we're gonna go over the weekend box office here, and yeah, the weekend box office, there isn't really many movies out. There wasn't really anything to really talk about because there aren't really many movies here. This was the top 10 last week. Old was the 10th highest grossing movie because there were no, because movies that people want to watch that's not coming out. So here, and Black Widow did pretty well this week as well. 748,000. That movie's still making money, and the next week's Justice League's coming out. That's 2 weeks from now. Black Widow's coming out on Blu-ray alongside the Boss Baby. Of course, we're gonna. Does the Boss Baby have numbers yet on international yet today? They do. It's at 48 million. I'm not really worried about the Boss Baby's box office because it did probably make a lot of money on Peacock streaming service. So at least it had that. It had that streaming service to save it, which who knows how much really money it made. So that's why the Boss Baby Family Business is not included, because it did have a dual release. But why are you excluding Boss Baby and not Space 7 New Legacy? Because I don't really think Space 7 New Legacy and the Suicide Squad are going to make back the money, unlike the Boss Baby Family Business. And also has not released in the UK, has not released in Germany yet, it has not released in France, Brazil, Japan. Basically, now this month is going to be when all the releases are going to come out for the movie. And yep, first movie we're going to be talking about, first movie film we're going to be talking about is Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi is overperforming at the box office, but the Phantom Menace said it would flop because they just don't like Shang-Chi for different reasons. I said this movie would flop because there were a lot of people who are still angry at Asians, especially Chinese people, over COVID. There's still definitely that anger that still exists. But again, if this movie does make money, it is likely from the people who watch Dragon Ball, people who watch Jackie Chan, Jet Li movies. Because this movie, if you watch the trailer, has a strong inspiration from those movies and from like Dragon Ball and stuff, martial arts movies. And a lot of people like watching martial arts movies. Not everybody wants to watch a movie with a bunch of gigantic explosions, tanks, everything. People just want to have the good old martial arts movies. Those movies are always entertaining and fun. And yeah, and I think this is how like a Dragon Ball movie, if it wasn't garbage, would probably perform, because Shang-Chi and Dragon Ball would probably have mostly the same audience. But this movie, Venom was like, oh my god, this movie's performing far worse than Black Widow. 8.5 billion, abysmal. It's so abysmal. I said this movie, I didn't use the Phantom Menace outlook on things. I compared it to F9, the Fast Saga, which this movie is performing similar to F9, the Fast Saga. It is actually outperforming F9, the Fast Saga, domestically. It is outperforming F9, the Fast Saga, and the ironic thing is the Phantom Menace praised F9, the Fast Saga. They praised it like it was the greatest movie ever, which just shows the double standards of the Phantom Menace. Shows the double standards of the Phantom Menace, and really just shows that they are just a bunch of hypocrites, and they just have so much double standards for everything. And again, this is a 4-day weekend, so we want to compare it to a movie. So it is alright. We can compare it to the other highest grossing movies of the year. So, yep. Black Widow, Free Guy as well. Was at 91 million. And Jungle Cruise. And we're gonna do all the movies since A Quiet Place Part 2, not Godzilla vs. Kong, because that movie had a massive, humongous opening and it just dropped. And Free Guy is gonna probably pass Godzilla vs. Kong anyways, like Jungle Cruise did. So, yeah, the Free Guy also finally made back its money. It also is now a profitable movie at the box office. So, good for Free Guy. That movie is now profitable. Black Widow, they don't have the international sales updated. International sales included will be 373 million, which is really good without China. Of course, big China, and of course, excluding Disney Plus numbers, which do exist. The Disney Plus numbers do exist. They are a part of Black Widow's worldwide gross, which will make it to $500 million, because a lot of people opted out of seeing the movies in the theaters and are buying it on Disney Plus, which is understandable because of COVID fears. Then we have this. So we have this chart here: Shang-Chi, Fast 9, and the daily comparison. Besides Black Widow, Shang-Chi is being all the other biggest openings, biggest releases of the year. Was his Free Guy, Jungle Cruise, Quiet Place Part 2, Black Widow, F9, The Fast Saga, and Shang-Chi. And Shang-Chi is, of course, excluded from its own. Because Shang-Chi is being all these movies except for Black Widow, which is F9, Free Guy, Jungle Cruise, and Quiet Place Part 2 at the box office. These movies are all being beaten by Shang-Chi at the box office. And Free Guy has help from China, too, so that's the ironic part. Shang-Chi is going to probably be a movie that has that got a release in China. Okay, the only movie it's not going to probably beat worldwide is F9, The Fast Saga, and that movie did get the help from China. So apparently, people do want to see Shang-Chi. IMDb said people who watched it people who review on IMDb, Letterboxd, and other sources say this is an amazing movie. Of course, the fandom menace doesn't like it because of course they don't like it. They don't like anything anymore. Okay, they're gonna probably all watch Dune and Mask because they think that movie, because of course that's white male, so it's a masterpiece. White man does not make a movie a masterpiece. Okay, it does not make, this is too ridiculous. This fandom mess, okay? And that's all they're talking about now is Dune. They're gonna start the Dune boycott, basically, which is not gonna really work. And, these are the same people who ignored, Space Jam dropping 69%. They ignored, and of course they called that movie a masterpiece. They praised F9, which dropped the same percent as Black Widow and performed like Black Widow, just slightly less because it opened with $10 million less. And yeah, F9, Fast Saga, and Black Widow performed basically the same, mirrored themselves domestically. If you really look at it, they mirrored domestically. But again, F9 is a masterpiece. Let's remember, the fandom menace said F9 was a masterpiece because people love it, because it's so amazing, 10 out of 10, greatest movie ever. That's basically the fandom menace here. And the budget for, Shang-Chi is 150 million. Jungle Cruise, I think, is 200. Free Guy is 100 million, so that means that movie made money. And F9 is, of course, 200 million as well. Apparently, even and again, Disney must have very low standards because they're giving Jungle Cruise of all movies a sequel. That movie is performing absolutely abysmally. If it was normally. Again, the movie is now we're gonna go back to the other movies now and stop talking about Shang-Chi and get back to everything else. All the other movies, I think, are waiting for me to talk about them. So of course, the great, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, essentially. Next is Candyman. Candyman is not doing too well at the box office, but this is a small world budget horror movie. Again, it dropped 69%. No mention of the fandom menace compared about Candyman dropping 69% on the second weekend, and it dropped 52% on the normal weekend openings, which means it's doing basically average for a movie that opens at 22 million. And considering this movie is a low-budget horror movie, it basically made back its money on its first week. So it needs make $40 million to make back its money, and it made more than enough to make back its money. So yeah, it's another horror movie that has made money. Next is of course Free Guy, which again we don't know if these international numbers are right or not because of course the numbers is not really updated. It's not really good at updating international numbers. It seems that they are updating more because they said they need to update it more. But this movie is gonna make $100 million at the domestic box office. There's no way it can't now. Basically, which I'm surprised this movie is doing so well. Everybody thought this movie would be a big, massive flop. But apparently, this is another time where the box office gurus were wrong again. But again, it's the same people who predicted Sonic the Hedgehog would be a flop. Because, they were so angry that they changed the Sonic design. And they even took down They even edited the article out, edited out Sonic so they don't embarrass themselves over Sonic being on the list. They should really edit Joker out of that list too. Because Joker made $1 billion. Sonic was really successful and got a sequel. And Free Guy has officially entered the realm of success. So, next is Jungle Cruise. Apparently, this movie is getting a sequel, so I guess we should take it off the flop list. But this movie made, I think, is around 300 million if you include Disney Plus at this current moment. It is having an extremely good week, so I assume with Disney Plus, it's around 300 million. So, maybe Disney didn't really spend a lot on advertising and stuff for this movie because they thought it wouldn't do too well, but it did much better. And again, the international box office has not really been updated, which is the key here. That they haven't really updated the international box office, so it could be more. If it does continues doing decently internationally, this movie might make money, which is probably why Disney is making a sequel to it. So apparently, this movie is profitable enough for Disney to give it a sequel. So I'm not going to continue to call it a flop anymore. Next is Paw Patrol the movie. Again, this movie has did pretty well at the box office. It's a smaller budget movie, $24 million budget as reported, and it's made $61 million, which means this movie, no matter what, this movie is going to continue making money essentially, and yeah, this movie is going to continue making money because it has $24 million budget essentially, and it's going to continue making money. Again, Paw Patrol isn't really too popular internationally. It was really going to make a bulk of its money domestically. But, yeah, there we go. There we go about that movie. And the last is Don't Breathe 2, another movie that has already entered the realm of profitability, as it has a very small budget of like $20 million. And it has made $40 million. Okay? And it's $15 million. The first movie, it could cost $15 million to make. So, yeah, we could go look at Paw Patrol, see if it's different. Paw Patrol movie, and yeah, $26 million. So no matter what, this movie made money. $46 million, 52, it needs to make $52 million. So it made $52 million, and of course it was also released on Paramount Plus as well. So it made money on Paramount Plus as well. More than likely, how Boss Baby made money on Peacock as well, and it will likely make money on Blu-ray, DVD, and of course on-demand sales. Which is a movie that Boss Baby 2 is another movie that's like a recover back its money. And of course, talk about Suicide Squad, one of the biggest flops of the year. This is a movie that I do not think that it's gonna make back its money through HBO Max. Like Space Jam: A New Legacy, this movie is performing just like that movie. Nobody really cares what this movie is. A sequel to a movie that nobody liked, and of course the fandom has said, "Oh, means that superhero movies are dead." Even though Shang-Chi is gonna make back its money, and Black Widow made money through Disney Plus, so there's no real excuse for the Suicide Squad to lose money other than people don't like the first movie, and everybody didn't like Birds of Prey, and people didn't like those two movies. And yeah, this movie is considered a pretty good movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Suicide Squad becomes like a cult classic movie, a cult classic film in the future, and becomes profitable because of its cult status. Kind of like Fight Club, kind of like, Blade Runner. It's gonna be like those movies. Suicide Squad's gonna be the Blade Runner of the 2020s. It's gonna become a cult classic. I almost saw you it will become a cult classic film because of how poorly it performed at the box office. Next is Black Widow. Again, they don't have the international sales because we're going to make this movie $374 million because they don't update the international sales. They have not updated the international sales for like the past couple of weekends, which is kind of odd. They have not updated the international sales of Black Widow. And again, if Black Widow made money for Disney Plus, it made 130 to 140 million dollars on Disney Plus, which is a huge amount made on a streaming service. So, and of course, you have the Puig, which is a, or no, that the Women's Innocence is the one with, yeah, that's not even on the list anymore. But yeah, Free Guy, this movie is a success. So yeah, movies like Free Guy, Shang-Chi, Don't Breathe 2, Paw Patrol still prove, okay, Paramount, okay, Paramount, okay. Here's my question. What was the point of doing all your movies for 2022? Okay? What was the point of you doing all your movies? Okay? You essentially just watched the box office of 2022, 2021. Okay? What was the point of you doing all your movies? I know Ghostbusters was delayed a week, but that was just a week delay. But what was the point of doing all of these movies? Okay? So 2022. What was the point? I'm just wondering what's going on inside Paramount Studios' head. Okay? And yeah, the Eternals is probably not gonna be delayed at all. Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't really think Ghostbusters. It's only pushed back Ghostbusters a week because they pushed back Top Gun Maverick because Ghostbusters they want to make more money because they really did that because they want to make more money on Thanksgiving. Okay. And ever since Godzilla vs. Kong movies have been making money. Okay. Even movies that I've called were flops. Like Cruella actually did make money. So I don't know what is going on with Paramount's head here. Okay? They delayed the whole 2022 schedule, and I don't think they're going to put it back. They're not going to put it back because that's how Paramount is. They don't care. Because they only care about themselves. Okay? It is proven by today that movies movies are going to continue making money. But again, it seems that Paramount doesn't understand that. Yeah, so movies like No Time to Die, even the Eternals will probably make money at the box office. Meanwhile, the idiots at Paramount will be scratching their heads. Hey, we still have delayed our movies, but it's just our fault, because we're stupid. Okay, Paramount is stupid. Okay, they're dumb. I don't really have to explain that file further. But yeah, I don't really think there is gonna be many more delays. And if there was a movie that does underperform, it's because people don't really like it, or movie becomes overlooked. For example, the Suicide Squad and Space Avenue Legacy remain the two movies that are like that. So yeah, and I'm not talking about movies. I'm talking about recent movies. That's because they probably do it in response to Suicide Squad, because they say, "Oh, the Suicide Squad flopped, so we got to wait all our movies of 2022 because we're dumb." And I don't believe Paramount has any movies coming out soon either. Yeah, they have no movies really for this month. They have a lot of movies coming out next year though. A lot of movies. Well, I think some of these movies might be delayed. Probably not. Sonic probably won't be delayed. They probably won't. They probably will delay Rumble again for the 8th time. But yeah, Paramount has so many movies coming out in 2022. They still have not delayed Top Gun and Jackass Forever. Essentially. It was like, what was the point of this? What was the point of this, Paramount? Okay, they're gonna have the lowest market share by the end of the year because they have no movies, basically. Okay, they have no movies coming out this year. Okay. Here, yeah, we have Walt Disney World, but Universal, Paramount, Sony, yeah. Paramount's gonna continue going down as they don't have any more movies because they delayed everything. Clifford might get a release this year, you never know, but so I can have one movie come out this year because Clifford still go released in 2020. But yeah, the box office is here right now. And yeah, the top 6 highest. Yeah, these are the top highest grossing movies here. Even a movie like Cruella made money. That should tell you something. Even a movie like Cruella made money. So a movie about a woman who kills dogs makes money. So I don't know what Paramount's excuses are. And that's basically it about this video. Goodbye.